Hey guys, welcome to today's video. I just came back from China. Like yesterday was my first day back. So I just spent time like unpacking, doing laundry, working. But today we need to get ready because we have a wedding tomorrow. So the schedule is a bit tight this week, but we're gonna make it work. And also I'm gonna like package a couple gifts that I brought back from China for like my sisters-in-laws, my sister, my cousin. So we'll do that and have a spring day wedding fun, get ready with me. And I'll give you an update on our veggies outside. As you can see, my office is all clean. I finished unpacking everything and like putting stuff away. But this, which is like all the gifts that we're gonna put together, I'll set you up and we'll get started. First, I have like these little brown baggies just to put everything in, and these like name tags just to put like my sisters-in-law's names, my cousin, everyone. So each bag will contain one of these teas from Korea. So there's like mulberry, there's green tea, oriental raisin, dandelion, and a couple more that I don't know how to pronounce, but they'll each get one of these. And then I also bought in Korea, because we had like a layover in Korea. That's why I was able to get stuff from Korea. I got like face masks. Skincare in Korea is like very, very good. So I got them face masks. And also I have a huge bag of Chinese candy. Not only candy, like snacks. Like these little like cracker things that are really good. There's different flavors. And these little like date and nut snacks. And there's also like little desserts. I tried the other two. This one I didn't try, so we'll hope it's good. And then so I'll put a couple of those in the bags. And then I got this gift also, and inside there's like more snacks, as you can see. So I'll include a couple of those. And then for my father-in-law, he really likes to like have little notebooks to write like Bible verses or Bible notes when we're at church together, because he comes at church with us. So I got him this little like art one. It's like a bird, feathers of China. And here's another one for my mother-in-law. And then for my youngest sister-in-law, I got her this little like panda keychain. I think she's gonna love it. And I think that's pretty much it, what we're gonna include in the gift bags. Okay, so here is the finished result. I attached all the little tags on each bag, and I really hope everyone likes it. Obviously, when you travel, you don't need to do this. I just love to, like I said, make people feel special, and that I was thinking of them like when I was on my trip. But obviously, you don't need to do that if you go on a trip. It's just how I like to show my love to friends and family. Next, for my friend's wedding, I wrote this card that says to love and to cherish, and inside I'm gonna put like a couple Polaroids of like her and I, her and her fiance, and I'll show you the final result. This is the final result. I have the bag, a journal that says faith with Bible verses on each page, a little frame of them with pictures, a card with the Polaroids, and of course we put a little money in them because that's what they wanted, and face masks from Korea. And here is their wedding. It was so pretty. We had such a fun time, and God bless the new couple. The next day we stayed at a 1920s home. It was so pretty, antique, and the owners served us the best breakfast with like fruit, eggs, cheese, bread. It was so delicious. And then we went to an antique store. That was the end of our weekend. Hi everyone. For the next part of this video, I wanted to talk about Sabbath. At the beginning in the intro, I said, oh, I'm gonna film a get ready with me for the wedding and include it as part of this video. But like I also said in the intro, I had been back from China for only a day, and I had been traveling for 24 hours, and in China I was there only 3 days and slept like 4 to 5 hours per night because I was working. So you could see from my eye bags I was exhausted. And you might be like, Lauriane, what's the link between Sabbath and you not filming the get ready with me for the wedding? Let me explain exactly what I mean. And before I get into it, I want to make it clear, I am not perfect following Sabbath. We're still working on it, and everyone has different convictions regarding Sabbath, but I'm just gonna be talking about it from a biblical standpoint and from verses that are found directly in the Bible. I have a couple notes here on my laptop just so I read word by word what it says in the Bible and it's not coming out from my mouth and my interpretation. So first, Sabbath is the fourth commandment. So a lot of the times people ask me, oh, but isn't Sabbath for Jews? And I'm not saying that as a judgment, it's real life experience of what people have asked me. But the commandments, as we know, we have to respect all of them, the 10. Not like 9 out of 10 or 7 out of 10 is good enough. No. What God asks is for us to respect 10 out of 10. And no one is perfect doing this. The only one that has been able to do it is God Himself as Jesus. Humans, no human has respected all 10 commandments perfectly. So it comes from a place of being humble. I'm gonna read to you the fourth commandment, which says, remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is a Sabbath to the Lord your God. On it you shall not do any work, you or your son or your daughter, your male servant, your female servant, your livestock, or the sojourner who is living within your gates. For in 6 days the Lord made the heaven, earth, the sea, and all that is in them, and rested on the seventh day. Therefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and made it holy. So this is from Exodus 28-11, which is speaking about the fourth commandment. A little bit of my personal history following the Sabbath is that I was from a very, very young age instilled to follow the Sabbath, in the sense that I was told not to do any work on Sabbath, not to participate in any commercial activity, which means like either you do work to get paid or you ask someone else to do work and you pay them. For example, a waiter at a restaurant. That is an example of commercial activity that you're paying for, or buying something at a store, anything like that. So no work, not making other people work. And my mom was very, very big on like preparing for the Sabbath. So if we knew we needed to go to a friend's birthday or anything at their house or a reunion, and we had to bring anything regarding food or anything else, we made sure that we bought it in advance. We made sure that we put gas in the car in advance. So this is the experience that I have from a very young age. My mom also wouldn't do like any laundry or house chores on Sabbath. So that is how I grew up. But I never quite understood the reasoning behind it until me and my fiance talked about it together before we got married and decided to follow it together, and decided to read in the Bible why God established the Sabbath and why it is so important to follow it when you are in your walk with God. A couple ways that my husband and I have been incorporating it in our marriage is not do work, like I said, and not make others work, but also, for example, if we are on a trip, let's say, for example, our honeymoon, we were in Tulum, Mexico. We made sure to get prior to the Sabbath any groceries that we needed. We made sure to book an Airbnb or a hotel that had a kitchen, and we made sure to prepare the food in advance so that we didn't need to purchase anything. We didn't need to prepare the food other than like heat it up, and that we could listen to a sermon the next day, read our Bibles, maybe go for a walk, but not participate in any commercial activity, even if we are traveling. I will be the first to say we did not do this perfectly from the beginning. Every week, I could say, or every time that we read the Bible and find another thing that we are interpreting one way that we didn't before, we will adjust and get better. And respect the Sabbath as God commanded it, even if you are not at home. And it even says in the Bible, wherever you are, respect the holy day. So when I realized it was going to be the Sabbath the next day, I said in my head, would filming a Get Ready With Me break Sabbath, or would it be work? And I started thinking, well, YouTube is not my work. I don't make money from it. So would it be considered work if I filmed the Get Ready With Me? And I just decided to pray about it, honestly, because I really wanted to film that, and it was a big purpose of the video. And it does say in the Bible, and I quote, in Mark 2:27, Jesus states, "The Sabbath was made for man, and not man for the Sabbath," which means it is made for us to have a day of rest, but we might want to do something else on the Sabbath that is not rest. And so, like I said, I prayed about it. I said, like, God, please give me a conviction regarding if I should film this or not. And I stumbled upon this and I was immediately convicted. Let me read it. In Isaiah 58:13-14, "If you keep your feet from breaking the Sabbath and from doing as you please on my holy day, if you call the Sabbath a delight and the Lord's holy day honorable, and if you honor it by not going your own way and not doing as you please or speaking idle words," I say that again, or speaking idle words, "then you will find your joy in the Lord, and I will cause you to ride in triumph on the heights of the land and to feast on the inheritance of your father Jacob. The mouth of the Lord has spoken." So this completely convicted me, because I was like, okay, if I film a Get Ready With Me for a wedding on the Sabbath, I am not speaking about God. I am speaking about what makeup I'm putting on and what dress I'm putting on. So I consider that as not following the Sabbath. And the words that really struck me were, or speaking idle words. And idle words can be viewed as words that are not related to Jesus. On the Sabbath day, if I'm speaking of something else, I'm not focusing on the Lord. So this is what convicted me not to film it on the Sabbath. And you might think differently, but I'm just saying what my conviction was. And like I said, we're learning every day together. And the more we read the Bible and the more we reread it, we're gonna hopefully, and I pray to God, see things more clearly and how He wants us to behave. So I do want to make like parenthesis to this before I end this segment on the Sabbath. And if you want, I can make a more in-depth video about this. But if your work is healing people, that's an entirely different thing. Jesus saved the man on the Sabbath. He healed him. The man that had been laying down for 38 years next to the pool of Bethesda. He told him, "Pick up your mat and walk." And so did the man do. So, for example, my mother-in-law, she's a nurse at a hospital. She believes and follows the Sabbath wholeheartedly. And I have rarely seen a woman of God as she is. But she, like I said, is a nurse at a hospital, and she spends her days with people that are on their last hours or last days of life. So she's like in the intensive care last days. In French, we call it palliative care, soins palliatifs. So I don't know how you say it in English, but she does that many days on the Sabbath. And because she's healing people and she's accompanying them in their death. So that's an entirely different thing. Jesus does make that difference. And again, I'm not convicting anyone. I am no one to convict anyone. I didn't follow the Sabbath perfectly for many years because I didn't understand it in the beginning of my 20s. And like I said before, my husband and I got closer to following the Sabbath together when we were engaged and decided to commit on following it to the best of our abilities and as much as possible, praying to God that we can follow it. And leave in the comments down below what you guys think about the Sabbath or if you have been convicted in a different way. So that's all I wanted to say. So now let's get into finishing to plant our veggie garden because finally we got a bigger like wooden box where we can plant a lot of veggies. We're really excited and let's go. I wanted to show you these beautiful flowers my husband had on the table when I came back from China with a little note. It made my heart so happy. And then these my mom gave to me because we hosted her over the weekend. So just that I would show you a little update on our dining table plant situation.